It is time now for all things current in California politics. I'm joined today by Rich Ehisen, our frequent guest editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication. Rich, good to have you here. Another Rich. Richard Grenell, a Republican. He's a special envoy to President Trump right now. He has said he's not running for governor of California in 2026, but he said he would run or consider it seriously if Kamala Harris does run. You would think it might be the opposite. Harris would be, people think she might be a shoo-in if she wins.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone is a shoo-in here, but be careful what you wish for is what I would say to him or any other Republican right now. Just, what they look at here is that, Kamala Harris did not win the California primary in 2020 when she was running her own campaign for president. She drew many fewer votes in 2024 than Joe Biden did in 2020. So I think they see her as a somewhat easy target, maybe one that they would prefer to run against. But, none of the polling shows in their favor either. So I would say sometimes that's a way maybe to get a little attention on your potential campaign, what have you. But again, be careful what you wish for.
Governor Newsom also calling for stricter guidelines on artificial intelligence. Yeah. He's worried about what could possibly happen. He's calling it irreparable damage. What are some of the things that Governor Newsom would suggest doing, or is this horse already out of the barn?
Well, I mean, in a way, yes, but this is something that people have been paying attention to around the country for a long time. And some of the things, of course, AI deep fakes, particularly with pornography, political stuff, but also AI-driven scams, mostly aimed at the elderly, and again, in the porn world, a lot of it's, child porn, horrible things like that. But there's also things like, AI being used in job screenings and things. And so with our built-in biases on whatever it might be, these are things that I think a lot of observers have been calling to be carefully watched and regulated for a very long time. So the governor is really talking about a lot of things that observers like this have been talking about from the beginning.
Okay. The recent skirmishes in Los Angeles, National Guard, Governor Newsom versus President Trump. Governor Newsom called Trump a, quote, stone-cold liar, kind of taking it up another. Has Trump unknowingly helping Newsom elevate his national profile with this mano y mano? What do you think?
I don't know if it's unknowing. I mean, Donald Trump, of all people, is very aware of the weight of his words. So, when he says things, he knows people will react to them. That's been his entire life. So I don't think he cares really what, Gavin Newsom does or says. And at this point, in theory, he doesn't need to run himself again. So I say in theory, that's a whole other conversation we can have another time. But at the end of the day, yes, he has absolutely elevated Gavin Newsom. Again, if you look at fundraising, Gavin has gained a ton of followers on his social media, many of whom he lost with his podcast, regained a lot of those, but also has raised a lot more money for, he's even opened the door now, finally, and said, yes, that door might be opening for him to run for governor. Because we all know he's been saying, I have sub-zero interest in running for president. I think I said governor.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, I meant president, but I mean, we all believe he's going to do that. So I think, yes, Donald Trump has absolutely elevated Gavin Newsom's profile around the country, especially with hesitant Dems.
Right. How shocked would you be if Gavin Newsom did not run for president? Better than 50-50 chance that he will?
No, not really. Not really.
So you feel it could go either way?
I would be a little surprised, but not that surprised.
Okay.
Knowing him a little, I don't know him, but knowing people around him enough, I think that a lot of them still are not 100% convinced he's going to run either.
Maybe he's not sure, nor is Kamala Harris sure, for sure, that she's going to run.
We're going to know pretty soon.
We are.
Yeah.
Summer begins, we're into summer. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to know pretty soon.
Yeah, we will. Okay, Rich Ehisen, we thank you.